Doma, Doma! Ha 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 ha!
I want to do. I haven't got my heart ready, I just realised. Welcome in. Should I risk the upfront ad? So we can take a 3-minute break, an hour in. It's happening. That's alright. It's not like I'm exponentially more anxious about embarrassing myself than I would be normally. Okay, 2:22. I reckon we got time. He's gonna do one more. Maybe it's not gonna let me. It's not gonna let me. Yeah, unless can I hit the button? Nah, Twitch won't let me. Yeah, cooldown is Overlord. So do pledge dash set, either total or split, up to you. Yes. You need to put a total in there as well. Pledge dash set space total space 40, assuming you're not pledging $40 per split, which would be very generous. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching the VOD, but I hope he continues to play. That would be cool. Robot Spacer is 30 seconds into a speedrun. How do I do this pledge thing? Pledge dash help. So you do pledge dash set, and you specify either a total pledge or a per split pledge, and then the amount. Go for the new one. We're hitless so far. 5 minutes in. Still haven't been hit. $3 a split. That's 40 splits, Nolan. You don't have to change it, but I just want you to understand what you're pledging. Yeah, no worries, Cam. Get your rest. Chances of me actually getting the run tonight are very low, so let's be real. It's unlikely you'll miss it. Did we clear the bot yet for the giveaway? I do not know. I'm gonna post robot spaces. raid message into my own chat, so I think that will be funny. When are we going to run the giveaway, Lost Lake? Hey Chico, thank you for the good luck. At the end? Will anybody be awake then? That's my only concern. I feel like... Oh yeah. Should I pin... I feel like I should pin the donation one. I can't pin announcements. That's so annoying. You Chico will be awake. Okay. You probably already own Hollow Knight. I wish I hadn't made them announcements now. Hold on. We'll sort this out after the raid. There we go. Okay, I can pin that. Thank you. Thank you, Defeating Games. Whoever you are, if that's your real name. Hey, Robot Spacer, welcome in. I got in with the raid message first. Hello again, everybody. How unexpected. Hey, Baron, Tim Longo, Unsecret Crush, Silver. Welcome in, everybody. We're doing a charity event. If you didn't come from the raid, and I've neglected to explain what we're doing, we are doing a charity event raising money for the Video Game History Foundation. You're fine. You're fine. Well, you needed to do the what's it called? The milestone. So I'm so surprised. But yes, I'm going to be doing a... I'm going to get started because this is going to take a while. I'm going to be attempting to get the Dream No More ending without getting hit. I did a similar run on Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 for the first, the inaugural Defeating Games for Charity event. And I said then, consider this a low hit run. Yeah. Have I ever done this challenge before? Exactly. That is the pertinent question. I have not. I've attempted it 38 times. I once did it only getting hit 3 times. Just the other day I did it only 4 times. But look, realistically, the nature of these runs in most cases is that you only get them once, and then you repress the memories of trying to get them. So, we'll see how it goes. This is the one, yeah. People have talked about it, like, how good would it be to get it during the event, but, look, yeah. Realistic that is. But yes, we are doing this for the Video Game History Foundation. They just announced some cool news that they're like making a digital library available, which is very cool. You can make donations as a pinned message. You can also make pledges, which we did last year. So you can pledge a dollar amount in US dollars. And every time I get hit, the pledge amount will go down by $1. You can also you can do a per split pledge. So you can say, I'm going to give you 8 cents per split that you don't get hit on. And you can all be hoping that I do get hit, so you have to pay less money. There are 40 splits, it's true. Digital library looks really impressive. Research tool for historical video game ephemera, aka old magazines and junk. Alright, test pledges from the other stream. No, I deleted them all. I think I left BIOS active, but I can't actually remember. But you can overwrite them. If you just set another pledge, it will like overwrite it. Alright, so I should explain what I'm doing. So So we did just come out this door and then go back, and that's just because once you, I don't know the exact point, but somewhere here, the game considers that a checkpoint. So when we quit out and come back into the game, it kind of restores us back there. It just saves a bit of time. We do a lot of quitting out and letting the game take us back to the previous checkpoint. Usually it's using benches like this, which are kind of how you can tell the game to save. Later on we can teleport, but that's quite a while down the line. Thank you for the pledge bio and checkpoint. So there's a lot to explain in terms of the run itself, but the high level is we need to get into the Black Egg Temple. To do that, we have to defeat 3 Dreamers. This is how you unlock the, I guess, the normal ending of the game. To defeat them, you need to get an item called the Dream Nail. That's kind of the first major thing that we're trying to get. Oh, I missed the donation. Where is the donation? Did somebody donate? Why did I not see a message for that? There was a message? Yeah, but I didn't see it in chat. I don't know why I didn't see it in chat. $50 from Robot Space. Thank you, Robot Space, for your donation. Yeah, okay. I'll have to put that in mind first I'd break. You love that I have no fear showing how much you might lose to the charity. I know I'm gonna, like, my nerves are at an all-time high, despite having done this run so many times. Oh, you saw it in chat. Maybe I just didn't see it. Weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad the alert's working. Oh, you can see it in chat? Sorry, this is gonna bother me otherwise. Oh, yep, I see it. It's just blended in with the pledges. Thank you. Cool. No debugging required. The smart way to get us Eastern North American time zone involved. Plus you can tell us any number of hits you took because we'll be asleep by the end. I actually got the run, guys. So now we're up to our first boss. I believe you got -3 hits. It's about time, just to make up for all the other ones. So this guy's not too bad. Watch me get into him. Mostly you just... his attacks are very slow. And you can jump under his kind of... the one attack that looks kind of scary. He staggers twice and then does like a whole bunch of leaping. This slam attack. You have to hit him 13 times to get him to stagger again. But you can also hit the projectiles that fall out of the sky into him, and that counts as 2 hits. It's like he's running a hitless run as well. So you can just run under this attack. That's the second stagger, so he's going to do this a bunch. Break through the ground. You can I probably should have. Actually, I'll show you. And show you. You can actually skip a lot of this fight. That's something I do on this run, but I'll show you how to do that. So once you get him, I believe once he starts doing his first stagger attack, his first slam attack, and actually, I've never tried to do this after I've defeated him, but we'll see what happens. Oh, you can't. I can't make the jump. But you can basically break through a wall, like the left-hand wall. You can actually break through it and skip half the fight, so. Hit it 7 times, that's right. The rocks do count as 2 hits, yeah. Oh, we did a split. Lock that money in. Yeah, good. It's a good idea. The reason why we don't skip the fight is probably worth mentioning. There's 2 reasons. The first is that we want the city crest that he drops, which lets us get into the city, which we need to do. And the second reason is that there is a geo chest which I opened. Geo is kind of the currency of the game, and one of the major challenges of like running this game, any of the runs really, is making sure you have enough geo to buy the various things you need to buy. So we just got our first spell, which is called Vengeful Spirit, basically a fireball. Avoid most of these enemies, kill a few of them, so that's our fireball attack. Let's go for soul. Yeah, I just realized I haven't explained what soul is to newcomers. Soul is your magic power, like mana effectively. This guy takes four spells to kill, but he like curls up into a ball if you get too close to him. So if you're ever worried about what's happening here, you can just go run right next to him and nothing will happen. Guessing the Colosseum is not necessary for the run, so we're avoiding it. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near the Colosseum, so we wait for this guy to come out, which lets us get a bit more soul. We can kill this guy. Pick up Soul Catcher, which is a charm. Charms are effectively like your items, I guess. You can equip them, but each charm has a charm notch cost, so you're limited the number that you can use. So I have 3 notches currently. I'll talk more about that later. Guildless Colosseum does sound horrible, but one day I will probably attempt to do it. Hey Malika, welcome in. I'm gonna go to get our first movement ability. So Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania, which means there are a bunch of areas that are kind of locked off based on progression, like ability progression. So we're going to go get our dash, which feels like when the run actually starts, because everything is painfully slow until then. Usually you can just run straight past these guys, but I'm gonna play it safe because I'd rather not get hit in green path, but it does happen, sadly. I should say that despite, like, in terms of how many hits I expect to take, like, I'd like to think we could get sub 10, but it's not uncommon that I get hit in the first split, you know, so So we can do 3 fireballs, which lets you skip this area. Otherwise you have to kind of go down and around like quite a long way. Lets us skip a whole bunch of the area. If you miss it and you don't have enough soul to do the fireballs again, there's actually an enemy you can kind of bait up to basically pogo on his head. Going on him is obviously involves a slightly more risk than the fireball skip. So there is a lot of very specific, like which enemies I choose to kill and which ones I don't is very intentional, because in particular, like I want to make sure I have enough soul. And like these early parts of the game, I've done them so many times that it's basically like I know who I have to kill in order to have enough soul to do the next part without any risk, you know. So we're coming up, there's a bunch of these challenge rooms. So this is kind of like a challenge room. It's going to lock us in. A gate is going to come down here. And there's a few of these in the game. This one's like fairly straightforward. Only the one guy. And you have to kill all the enemies before the game will let you get out. And I think most of them like are very consistent. Like the enemies spawn in the same locations. I try to make sure I have the same amount of soul ready to go, so it's really just effectively running a script, which with this kind of thing you really want as much of it to be scripted as possible. There are areas where the enemies, like the locations they start in, are random, and that's where the grief starts. That's where the issues begin. Not up to those yet. Obviously the bosses have a bunch of variation in what they decide to do as well. So we kill this Venus flytrap to get Wanderer's Journal. Wanderer's Journal is a relic, which we collect a bunch of them and we can sell them so that we can get more geo. Second boss, fight Hornet. There again, Hornet. You might recognize her from promotional material for the long-awaited Hollow Knight Silksong. It's not too bad. The main way she gets you, and this is quite common with a lot of the bosses in this game, they have a tendency to do like dead jumps to exactly where you are or where you're heading. So if you are walking in a particular direction, the AI knows where you're going to end up and it lands the boss right where you're going to be. And Hornet 1 is not a hard fight, but you don't have dash, which means we have very little movement control. Dash lets us get out of a lot of bad situations, but not too fast in this one. I give it a good luck, thankfully. But deceptive. It's very easy. Very easy to like take it too casually. A couple of exciting milestones coming up at 1750. During Sultan's Kerbal Space Program stream, we'll visit the mysterious Mars-like planet Juna and discover its secret. At $2,000, we'll have a video game giveaway. Make it seem slow. Thank you. So we've got dash now, which is just makes the running parts much less annoying, honestly. Okay. Oops. Next boss coming up is Bruzmother. Exactly sure how to say it. But yeah, not really a particularly hard boss, but mistakes get made. Let's just say that. She only really has two attacks. A like charge attack where she will charge directly to where you are, and a slam attack where she will do a series of like vertical slams one after the other. Try to do as much damage before she even kind of fully wakes up. And one strategy for doing that is what's called a nail cancel, where you can do your normal nail swing. Nail is your weapon, and then you can actually like cancel the animation by quickly doing a spell. I won't do it now because I want the cell, but so we try to do a nail hit and then a spell very quickly after. We can do that 3 times to start this fight before she'll have a chance to do anything, usually, depending on where she goes. And then we just react to which of her 2 attacks she does. She's doing the slams. Sometimes she gets stuck in the roof. She is going to like basically explode into a bunch of little bruises. Talk to Salubra. She is like the charm vendor. Shaman Stone, which is, I would say, widely regarded as the most powerful charm in the game. And we're going to come back here and buy these 2 charm notches, which are going to let us equip more charms later. But as you can see, you need to have a certain number of charms before she'll sell them to you. So we need to get 10 charms. And that's a reason why we collect a bunch of charms that we don't even use. We'll end up even buying some charms that we don't use, just so that we can get up to 10. And now we're talking to Sly, and we talk to him so that he will now move back to town, and he will sell us some very important stuff later. It's like you lead a charmed life. So one thing about charms, we do have a limited number of notches, and so the game's like, hey, you don't have enough notches to do that. But if you attempt it 5 times, it will allow you to overcharm, which will let you exceed your charm notch count at the risk of every time you get hit, you take double damage. Obviously, we're trying to not get hit, so it's worth the risk. Also, I should mention up front that as part of these challenge runs, you're allowed to have a mod on that means you cannot die. So the only reason I mention that is because we actually have to run in a mode where typically if you died, your game file would be deleted. Like you wouldn't be able to resume it. I'll explain that a bit later, but because of that, it's a lot nicer to not have to worry about, you know, being 2 hours into a run and then losing the whole thing. So we did rest at a bench there, and we just do that to set the checkpoint so that when we quit next and come back into the game, we'll end up being back there, which saves us a bunch of time. So we got another challenge room here. We've got these two shroomel ogres, I believe they're called. The plan is we're going to use the little mushrooms you can kind of see at the bottom left of screen. We're going to hit them to try to get some soul. We're going to try to hit this guy 4 times. On the 5th hit, there's another one in the room, and that's going to start attacking. So what we want to do is we want to eliminate this one as quickly as possible. So the plan is hit it 4 times. We're going to stand close to it to bait out its close range attack. We're going to get the hell out of the way, and we're going to hit it with spells, and it should die. That's the theory. Doesn't always work that way, but we'll see. 2, 3, 4. Wait for the slam. He's dead. We can take our time with this guy. So they just gave us a charm notch, which is nice. I think we actually need it yet, but now we go up into this room, which is kind of terrifying, where we're just going to evade a bunch of, I don't know what these things are called, but they shoot exploding projectiles at you, which is scary. I really want this relic. This gives us 450 geo later. Get the hell out of here. We're going to quit back to the bench. You're overcharmed and you pick up enough charm not just to fit all the equipped charms. Do you stay overcharmed? I don't know. That's a good question. I doubt it. We'll figure that out. Actually, I think we'll know. I'm pretty sure we can figure that out. I kill this guy for soul. I feel like you might, if only because you can change charms at benches. Oh, you reckon you would stay overcharmed? Yeah. We're heading down to get what I would say is arguably the most important movement ability of the game. I'm pretty sure you can't beat the game without it. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Mantis Claw, which is effectively your classic wall jump. Like the state would not change until you specifically change the state. Possible. We'll find out. So Shaman Stone does mean that our Fireball spell kills these enemies in one hit, which is very nice. Again, this is the sort of thing where I know exactly how much soul I'm going to need. And hit this guy through the wall if you want to. That opens up a doorway. Just bait this guy down. I don't know why. It's just what I've done since I worked on any %. Now it's just habit. I try to change things as little as possible. And now with the wall climb, you go fight the Mantis Lords, which this is probably the, I would say, the biggest deviation of my route from, like, I don't know if there is like a meta route for true ending, but most people don't fight Mantis Lords, and I did that for a variety of reasons. The first one was I've done 2 other runs on Hollow Knight, 2 other hitless runs, and the start of the game is very similar for all of them, and I just wanted something different in the start of the game to just mix it up. So there's that. I enjoy the fight. It's probably my favorite fight of the game. And finally you get effectively like 1300 geo, which is very nice. After the stream we can all do a Hollow Knight true ending. That's very true, Malika. Guaranteed. Guaranteed results. We're going to fight one of them to start with, and then 2 in a moment. Most of the attacks are not too hard. It gets a little bit more stressful in this too. In the Pantheons, which is like a boss rush mode, you actually have to fight all 3 at once, which is much harder. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to end up over in this area, like toward the edge of the arena, I guess, when there's 2 of them, because they can spawn directly under you. There's 2 attacks here. There's a quick one like this, which you can just jump. Quick one again. The quick one. There's the slow one, so you just go to a side, dash over the top. That is probably my favorite fight in the game. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it is a very fun fight, but it is a lot harder. Now none of the mantises will attack us anymore, which is nice. This is the room with all the goodies in it. So we get a charm here, which means we don't have to buy another one later. We don't actually use it. I've considered using it. It's quite a good charm. It extends the reach of your nail. We get a relic, which is 450 geo. And then there's a geo chest in here, which gives us another 620. And it's not spawning on top of me. The edge of the arena ended many a radiant attempts. Yeah. Yeah, well, in the 3 version battle, it's a lot more frantic and it's a lot harder to be like intentionally trying to stay off the edges. To the City of Tears, where many tears do indeed occur. Again. Up the way we came. Hey, one of my children via clubs. Took me hours first gameplay to beat the Master slots. Yeah, I would have been the same. I was not good at this game. And you've been here enough, Malika, to know how reluctant I am to even now say that I'm good at the game, so... But I can tell you I was very bad at the game. Yeah, I hate those spikes. Didn't want to say anything about them in case I jinxed it. Don't usually believe in jinxes, but I hate those spikes so much. Child and error. Oh, didn't expect him to do that. I don't think I've ever seen him jump directly up like that. Do love seeing things that I've never seen before. So I just wait for this guy to do his triple slash, but he's not freaking doing it. Which I hate. You held your breath in, didn't you? Took me a while to figure out how to down slash on the bouncy mushrooms. Yeah, I don't know if I ever figured that out. I reckon there was a whole bunch of areas in Fungal Waste that I didn't know how to do until I got Monarch Wings, which is the double jump. Child and image. These sentries, this enemy's called a Husk Sentry. These guys have ended a lot of my runs, quite honestly. Like a lot. Bait this guy out. Wait for him to start walking again. Kill this guy. We don't actually need the Geo here, but Soul is handy for this guy. Now this guy can spawn at a bunch of places. We want to hit him once and then kill him with a spell. But he can be very annoying. So this is one of the areas where enemies start spawning in inconsistent locations, which is a hitless runner's nightmare, honestly. What you want is consistency. You want it to be the same every time. Yeah. So I got stuck here for ages, didn't realize you could jump up the rafters like that. Yeah, I reckon I definitely uninstalled the game at least on my first 2 occasions before I even got here. So this guy, we're waiting for a charge attack. There it is, we can just dash over the top of it. Sell the relics now. It's a little bit slower because I've turned it back to English, but I thought it was nicer. Even though I'm skipping through it. We're just getting a whole bunch of Geo here. The first thing we're going to buy is the lantern, which, shocking no one, means we can see in dark places. Do you normally run with Chinese? Yeah, I have been. It doesn't really matter, no. It's only like Lem and the Seer where you're kind of handing things in and it just goes a little bit quicker. That's the only reason I do it. This guy will die with a spell and a nail hit. Yeah, my route is certainly not built for speed, so this guy will want to get a nail hit. Get him with the fireball. This guy. There's going to be some exploding birds in this room. I'm going to bait them out. And we want to get this item here, which is called a rancid egg. In a normal, in a normal run of the game, rancid eggs let you get your... If you've played a Dark Souls game, kind of you die and you lose all your souls at a particular location, you have to go back to get them. But Hollow Knight has this rancid egg mechanic where you can hand in the rancid egg to an NPC and it will effectively give you back your shade. I meant to look up whether you get your geo back, but I kind of assume you don't. Do you know, Chico? You built for comfort, not speed. Yeah, same. So my route is based on making every boss fight as comfortable as possible. So I do some boss fights much later than some other people do because I want more abilities. You do get your geo. Yeah, okay. So in the normal game you get your geo back without having to go and retrieve your corpse, I guess. In Steel Soul mode, which we're running, that mechanic doesn't work because if you die, the game, your file is over. But there is a different NPC who will then buy the rancid eggs off you for geo. So die again before your shade with the geo is regathered. Makes sense. Oops. Log Sanctum. This bit is... It's not too tricky, but like there's a lot of RNG with where the enemies turn up and what they do, so... That's that. Things can go wrong. The thing about the shade mechanic is it breaks your soul meter here, and you can only gather enough soul for 2 spells instead of 3. The other thing worth noting for anyone who hasn't played Hollow Knight before is that the soul, like the amount of soul you have, that's also used for healing. So not particularly applicable in this context, but so you quite often are kind of having to choose between, am I going to heal here or am I going to use a spell? You don't down there. What prompts that mistake to spawn? I really should look into that. I know I can't go too far to the left. So we got another mini boss here. The other thing about the shade is it has an official plush, and if you squeeze it, the eyes light up and it plays creepy music. Good to know. Yeah, got another mini boss here. This is kind of the easier version of this guy. We fight a harder version later. I do want to make sure I have full soul by the time I exit the room, so I only use 3 spells on him. Usually gives me more than enough. This guy was Soul Master. No, that's not Soul Master. That's Soul Warrior 1.0. Oh, thank you. Thank you, dude. That guy just spawned in the best location. Soul Apprentice. Woman 1.0. We're gonna drop down here. There's gonna have a guy spawn to the right here. With soul. Use this guy to... This guy keeps respawning every time you enter the room. So there's a couple of... I think there's like 3 locations I do this to just keep getting soul. There is another... I think they're called Soul Twisters. That's going to spawn in that room down there. So we want to avoid landing in that room at all. And to do that, you can just wall climb on this wall and just do 4 neutral dashes without moving. And you'll just drop down this gap here, and you'll bypass the room entirely. And you don't have to fight that other one. We're going to get another one here. We're going to go into this room, which is called Hell Room. Which I don't know if Hell Room is this entire screen, but I think of this room as Hell Room. So a bunch of enemies are going to spawn as we kind of progress more to the right. There's a charm right at the end that we're actually going to use. So once we get past this door here, this like window area, we're going to get a bunch of enemies spawn. So I'm going to spawn them in, get the hell out of the way. Just thought Hell Room was the room before with the soul twisters. Oh really? I've always thought of this as the worst. Hey Scud, welcome in. So there's going to be some more that spawn once we pass this chair here. Whoopsie. And there's going to be some more once we pass this second chair. Blast this fireball in there because you can't see what's going on. It's terrifying. I do the same here, just to be safe. How's it going, Scud? It's very soul safe. What is that about? So now we're going to fight Soul Master. Soul Master is one of 4 bosses that we fight a harder version later. I guess not including Soul Warrior. So he is like relatively slow compared to his later version, but does still occasionally catch me unawares. Jump up in between these. Just stand in the middle of the arena and you're safe from those fireballs. That's phase 1. Killing Soul Master is going to give us the Desolate Dive spell, which is very nice. And its upgraded version gives us a lot of invulnerability frames, iframes, which means enemies can't hurt us, which is very nice. That was a bit risky. Spell in the game. Yeah, I agree. GG's. This also lets us like rake through some destructible floor, which is handy. Take my money. Lock it in. Oops. Let me go and get some geo up here. Let's go. To this wall, we'll get a guy spawn here. This is just so I can get soul, get another one to spawn. Yeah. I think the floor, the idea is you're meant to break the, I think the expected approach is you're meant to break the floor straight through here, but doing that puts you in a very nasty situation in the bottom room, so you can actually just break the floor and not go through it, which is very handy, and do the same here. I'll go back up, refill my soul. This bit is a bit dicey, I admit. So when I jump on this platform, there's gonna, I do know when all these guys are gonna actually spawn. So I'm gonna jump on this platform and one's gonna spawn. I do this very slow. I know speedrunners kind of whiz through here and just outrace them, but I prefer it this way. We go past that platform vertically and another one will spawn. Come down eventually. And we go past the next platform vertically and another one will spawn. Do the same thing. Rush. Watch out for him. I have lost her on him before. Get that he's there. Coming up on the it's RNG heavy room. Wall here. I'll just leave the elevator at the top because we come back through here later, and I'm worried that I will forget that the elevator's at the bottom and accidentally land on the spikes at the top of the elevator, so I always send it to the top. It's just habit now. You're gonna slurk? Give it a good look. I'm gonna bait this guy to just stay in the middle here. As you can just, without it being too risky, except he does occasionally forget that you're there, which is a problem, but these guys. Oh, can usually get a hit. Spell. Got 2 spells here that kills a guy in this room. We get a simple key, which we're going to need to unlock a cave that has the NPC in it that's going to buy our rented eggs. Let's do this the most super safe way I have come up with. Because this is around the point in the run where I start getting a bit nervous. But just take all the risk out of it. Sleep lurk. Is that a thing? I'm not familiar with this. An ad coming up in 2 minutes. So we'll take a break. That was your best guess. Relic down here. So chilling, yeah, not on the inside, trust me. Right. Oh, it is a, yeah, okay, it is an actual thing. Slurk. We're going down here to get a vessel fragment, which is, once we've got 3 of them, will increase the amount of soul that we can like have stored. Game is very pretty. It's true. I don't know if it's a thing, but you understood it. Well, we guessed at it and we were right, so it's something. I might run the ad break now and take a quick bathroom break. And be back in a couple of minutes. All right. I had a cookie. The sugar will keep me going. Why am I in City of Tears? No, that's what I wanted. It's okay. Woo! Almost a quarter of the way through already. Well, by number of splits. It might actually be more, but it would be more than a quarter, right? Of like time. Would have to be. Because it doesn't take 4 hours. Cookies are good. It wasn't like a great cookie, but it did the job. So we're gonna buy the lantern, which lets us see things. Wafers are good. Man, I haven't had a wafer for a while. Yeah, we're gonna buy the lantern, which lets us see things where we're about to go. And we're gonna buy a rancid egg, which we're gonna sell later. Hey, Lee B, welcome in. Hello to you. It's special at Warbuds. Oh, yeah, I can't remember the last time I had a wafer. Yeah. So we're heading to Crystal Peak to get Crystal Heart, which is another movement ability that we need. I don't know if you need it. Chico will probably know. Yeah, you probably do. You choose all of your snacks instead of their own special. That's a reasonable purchasing strategy, honestly. You're crunching. I assume you need Crystal Heart to beat the game, right? Is that true? We're going to use our spell here to break this floor. And there's like a little sneaky rancid egg over here, which you're going to pick up. You don't? Okay. But you need Mantis Claw. Oh, right. So you could get Isthmus here. Save Marla%, which avoids Say Hard. Wouldn't you need Isthmus tier to or Isthmus tier or C dash to get to Monomon? Okay, so we're gonna grab a bench over here. Rise a hectic triple fireball skip to get to Isthmus. Hey Benji. Yeah, I feel like I was just talking to Gloves in my ad break, and I feel like we're pretty close to like avoiding like utter embarrassment. So I'm pretty happy. With Slope Ball. Kill this guy with spells. Don't trust these pickaxe throwing dudes. Do you have a big boss in the next 20 to 30 minutes? We could do the giveaway then while people are still up. No. Probably, well, yeah, within 30 minutes for sure. But there's no bosses for like, probably no bosses like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, Soul Warrior is probably the first like real annoying boss. I kill these guys the slow way just to make sure I have full soul at the top. A very particular way through this room. Wait on this wall for them to all go around. I'm up this wall. I don't actually know if... Oh, shit. Oh my god. I can't believe I got out of that. Sorry for the swears. Damn. I thought I was toast for sure. Well, that's not how you do that. So these guys go around in like a group of 3. I wait for the third guy. I don't like this pattern. This pattern is different. Usually wait for the third guy to go past and then I climb up so that I can shoot the first guy and kind of chase him down. This is okay, we can do this. Shoot him. So we're gonna do like, I guess technically a skip here. You can actually pogo off the background objects. So we're gonna pogo off this barrel here wall climb off that wall so we can go up there and get the relic. Sometimes it doesn't work. But hopefully the background objects respawn when you re-enter the room. I was stressed too, Chica. Rest assured. Laser that I wait for to go around just to be safe. Let's do go. Here. Into the room with Crystal Heart, which is the movement ability we're trying to get. There's a very fast way of going through here that is very consistent, but it looks terrifying. It's too terrifying for me to try to learn, so I just do it very slowly. Tricks are you can pogo on these platforms. You can also just kind of like do small inputs to avoid the lasers. Like you can just kind of stay on the platform without moving much. I've seen people also jump, but you can pogo on these to turn them back over. I've seen people jump on the platforms too. I've never done that. It's just the way I do it. Both work as far as I can tell. Well, you should see how fast. You should see how fast other people do it. Shouldn't compare. It's gonna have a mouthful of banana bread. So these enemies are not fun to deal with, so I do my best to not deal with them. But we are going to farm this guy for soul. We're just going to keep going in and out of this room, hitting him once. Probably the most boring part of the run. Because there's 2 crystal hunters, which is what this enemy is called, in the next room, and I don't want to fight them. This dark room that we're kind of heading into, this room here. There's also like a super fast way of dealing with this, where you don't even need to see anything. You can just do consistent like dashes and crystal dashes. But I prefer being in control and seeing what I'm doing. So it's another speed strat that I am not all that interested in learning, honestly. This is slow, but it's very safe as far as I can tell. No. Big walker guy here. This next room is kind of scary too. Up the floor. I want this guy to move up. Like, we need to dash underneath him to get onto another platform, so I don't want him to be in the way. He should move up at some point. That's good. But we do have to go pretty quick here. We kill this guy for soul. I guess I probably don't need to. It's just easier to not. We need to stay low here, or this guy activates too early. That is not what is meant to happen. But somehow we survived it. So we'll take it. Crystal Peak giving me issues. We did that one too. Okay, so we've upgraded our dive spell, which gives us more damage and more iframes, which is very nice. Now we're going to get that item that I talked about right at the start called the Dream Nail, which is going to let us defeat the Dreamers, which will allow us to get to the end of the game. I'm not a big lore guy, but my understanding is that this is like a trap, basically. The Dreamers don't want to be disturbed. They don't want the Black Egg Temple to be opened, so you get caught in a dream. But this moth whips you out. A bunch of platforming here. You can skip some of it by climbing on this roof. Still dashing. Skip more of it than I do, but there's like a fairly tight little jump on the end of it that I don't want to risk. Talk to the seer just yet, but we will come back here a couple of times. She will give us a couple of very important things. Make a brief tangent over here to get another charm, which gets our charm count up. Bit of the bench because we're going to quit back to it in a minute. Call the stag. I didn't really explain the stag stations. It's effectively fast travel between locations. These guys are kind of scary, but you can just outwalk them. Actually need to dash or anything. Bunch of like breakable floor here with spikes under it, which is a bit scary, but you can just dash over it. There's some right at the bottom of this. Again, dash over it. There's a guy that will come out and attack you from there, so just kill him with a spell. We get our charm. This charm is Soul Eater. We're actually going to use this one. This is like a better version of Soul Catcher, which I don't know if I explained what Soul Catcher does, but Soul Catcher and Soul Eater increase the amount of soul you get for each nail hit. Soul Eater's like, when we want soul to be available as much as possible, basically, because it means we can use our Descending Dark spell, which gives us iframes, which gets us out of jail, basically. When you get stuck in a bad position in a boss fight or something, just Descending Dark, you got iframes, they can't hit you. We're now opening the right side of the City of Tears. Didn't manage my soul here very well. Jump down there right now. Something hybrid. Get out of the way, man. So normally I have a spell here and I can just dive. And they will die. A bit nice today. These guys can. We're gonna go and buy our charm notches so we can find out if we stay overcharmed. The dirt mouth. Basically buy the cheapest charms we can because we need to get our count up to 10 to buy 2 notches. Buy the elegant key, which will unlock a door to the next boss that we're going to fight. We need that. And we buy a stalwart shell. That's the cheapest charm we can get. And then in order to afford the other charms we need to buy and the charm notches themselves, we go and sell the rancid eggs that we've been collecting. Then we'll give you a random amount of geo between 290 and 440, I think, maybe 450. So like 294 is a very unlucky roll on the geo. But I have, like, my route is dependent on him giving. Shoot it to him. Why can I not see that? Yeah, my route is planned around the idea that he will give me 290 4 times, like the worst possible RNG, just in case. You don't want to be mid-run, like trying to figure out where you're going to get a bunch more geo from. So we're going to go and talk to Celebrity. Can't believe you've been throwing out rancid food. Yeah. You have to be on Steel Soul mode though. I guess we're all on Steel Soul mode really. It's not like when we die we get to take it back, is it? We should be able to sell our rancid food. I agree. But the other night I bought all my charms, got my charm notches, and then just neglected to actually equip them. Proceeded to beat the next 4 bosses without my correct charm build. Which, you know, on the one hand is pretty cool that I didn't get hit during that, but on the other hand it's kind of silly that I didn't equip my charms. So let's try to remember to do that. So we put on Spell Twister, which reduces the amount of soul you need to cast a spell. And then we use Soul Eater, which increases the amount of soul you get for each hit. So it's a very spell heavy build. We want to be able to do spells as much as possible. Part of the reason for that is that you can upgrade your nail. Like you can upgrade, there's like a blacksmith who will upgrade your nail, make it do more damage. but by doing that, you actually increase the amount of health that some of the bosses have. And so as part of this run, we don't upgrade our nail until almost the very end of the game, because we want particularly some of the dream bosses to have as little health as possible. So we're going to be fighting the souped up version of the Soul Warrior that we fought earlier. This guy can spawn additional enemies floating in the sky, which means my tip for this fight is you don't want to ever pogo. It's very tempting to like jump over them and pogo them to get an extra hit. You don't want to do that. You don't want to stay in the air. You want to stay grounded as long as possible, because anytime you're up in the air, there is a chance the game will spawn an enemy directly underneath you, which you can evade by dashing, which is the other thing you don't want to do, is you don't want to jump and dash unless you mean to. So I see a lot of players like on their first playthroughs, or even like starting to do hitless runs, they'll jump over Soul Warrior and just dash like out of instinct. And that is a surefire way for the game to decide that it's going to spawn an enemy right where your dash is going to end. So I always try to just jump over. Fortunately in this run I have Descending Dark, which gives me some iframes, but it definitely is one of the kind of fights that can just go sideways very quickly, so we'll see what happens. The only reason we fight this guy is because we get this upgrade to our fireball, which makes it go through walls, which is very nice. Yeah, it's not all the bosses. Basically, the game is designed so that, like, the game kind of expects you to be at a certain level when you're facing certain things, and you can actually make use of that against the game, if that makes sense. So there's some kind of like end game bosses that scale based off your nail upgrade, because the game assumes you're going to have upgraded your nail. But that's not always true, so... Just... These guys... I don't actually need to kill them, but... I want the soul. You can go and kill a... what's called a gorgeous husk, which gives us 420 geo. No. Big bit of firework, man. A little bit of soul from these guys. Yeah, we're going to head down to the ancient basin. Hey, Jake, welcome in. I am Australian, it's true. Is it true? Australia like a year ago for work. Yes. What's on this spell is like really nice. Like it's huge. Means we can. I prefer to just take these guys out rather than worrying about them. Down the right side here. Open this bench because we want to rest here and set our game checkpoint so that we can quit out again. Of these big Morlek things. This first one, there's one that we can't quite see it, but it's just off to the top left of the screen. We can C-dash under it, and it will never hit you. You have to be aware of this guy though. You can do the same with this one. You can probably just see it at the top left of the screen. Same roll though. Won't hit you. Get another simple key, which we'll need later. There's a crawler here. Sometimes you kill it. Like on this wall, on the left wall, but it's worth noting it can be there if you didn't happen to kill it with your fireball. You can stand right up next to this guy. Hit you. Balloon's gonna spawn here. We take care of that. Have to fight the boss, but before you do, you pixelated someone. Well, no hits so far. That is the goal. I'm gonna take a small banana bread break. Welcome. We're definitely in the part of the run where I usually tend to get hit, so... Ah, you suck. That's upsetting. Oh well, we're not doing no hit anymore. The one attack that I do not like. And it's almost always that same attack. Yeah. Does seem strange. It's well, you'd think so. It's quite common. I'd say it's more common getting hit than not getting hit. Hit run, yeah, that's the goal. So you just complete the run, keeping track, and do it again until you don't get it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. 3 is the lowest I've done. PB1. PB1 is actually like the worst. It usually means as soon as you get hit, you start again. No, it's not fun. Let me tell you, it's not fun. So there are a bunch of skips you can do in this game where you effectively do a crystal dash off the side of a wall to basically avoid going into acid. Called acid skips for obvious reasons. And there is one in like the, I guess the typical any percent run, no hit run, which I did. But when I got that run, I swore to myself that I would never do an acid skip again. So as a result, I get the movement ability that lets you swim in acid, just so I don't have to do an acid skip again. That's what we're going to do now. Says if you want to sort things out properly, come and meet me at Kingdom's Edge, which we will do in a moment. But as an acid skip, which I don't want to do, so we will get Isthmus tier first.
Velmi Artrit. Velmi Artrit.
Yeah, three hits is actually like quite a nice PB to have, because you can get hit mid-game and go, maybe it's still worth it finishing out, we could still improve. Oh, hit is rough. On our way to fight Dung Defender. His favorite. Getting 1 hit so far, amazing. Does the game itself count the hits, or do you have to? I am. I think there's a mod you can install that will like count them for you. But I had like some technical issues with that. Didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. So there's like other stuff that I wanted to do, like tracking PBs and stuff like that. So yeah, I manage it myself. Alright, this guy, really not too bad. You can Descending Dark him out of the ground, which is good to know. Whenever he's in the ground, you can do that. You can also fireball his dung balls. This, which is handy. Otherwise, they just go flying around all over the room. He does this bouncing attack, which I just try to stay away from. They actually juggle him. Yeah, everybody loves Dung Defender. It's not to love. Shit, wasn't expecting that. Oh, missed that one. Lost him out of this. actually can't believe that. Can't believe that. Damn. It's definitely much safer to force him out of the ground. Which is probably why I'm like less prepared for that attack. Oof. That's right. The most hits record without reaching game. We can get a bit dicey. I don't really love this. Challenge room here. We mostly have a script for this. Sending back this guy. Actually, just kill this guy with the nail so that we have soul. It's going to be 2 guys here. 1 more guy here. Oh god. The farm at 2. Spectral Challenger, and I completed permadeath whole game in The Last of Us Part 2 and grounded the hardest difficulty. I basically played the game for a year straight, learning everything I could. I imagine a similar effort would be needed for this game, which I rage quit because it was so hard. I rage quit twice, so yeah, unlucky. I mean, I reckon Vessel, I know there's certain things that he does that. No, I know what happens. It's much more consistent for me to just try to avoid the, I don't know what you call it, the stuff coming out of his head. But I sometimes just panic and try to deduct to give myself the iframes, and I just do it at bad times, like, and then I get hit trying to deduct, which it's just, yeah, it happens. And the Dome Defender one, I think I just, I didn't manage my soul well enough. I don't really want to be caught having to deal with him erupting out of the ground. That's okay. I'm going to close a raffle on completion of the next boss fight. DG Enter. Yep. Yeah, so there's a game, a copy of Hollow Knight up for grabs. Anybody doesn't already own it? Done that boss on Radiant, and that spam gloop attack is so hard to account for. Yeah, I've done it too. I agree. It's like it's the only attack that's hard. We're about to enter the boss fight, looks like. Or do you want to do it on the next one? That's good. Win a copy of Hollow Knight? Exclamation mark DG Anton? You don't mind? Yeah, this is Hornet, but she's fast. It's mostly the same approach. Just jump everything, basically. I only really spell on her big, when she launches into the needle attack. Everything else I just jump. That's unfortunate. That's my bad. Well, that's the dead jump I'm talking about. Where they jump where you're gonna end up rather than where you are. Upsetting. You're here all night. Oh. Haven't done Hornet 2 on Radiant. Not too bad when you have Shade Cloak. That Shade Cloak takes the edge off a lot of options, a lot of problems. Where are you, Silksong? I'll be playing Silksong instead of doing this silly run. When it came out. I can do one more boss. Yeah, wait until there's more than one entrant. But it is what it is, I suppose. To first get 2 more vessel fragments from Sly. Let's have a bunch more soul, which is handy. Which probably would have saved us in the Dung Defender fight. Just saying. If we could afford them in the Dung Defender fight. Interesting. Hey, Chico. What a rough mid game. Unfortunately. Wonder Hornet 2. A dead jump. 1 to... You could almost guess. 1 to Broken Vessels Cascade. And 1 to mismanage my soul against Dung Defender. And he blasted me out of the ground. He erupted from the ground. Because I just don't practice that attack. I feel like every time I practice him, I have enough soul to always get him out of the ground, so I don't have to deal with it. But So we're gonna go fight Gorb. Gorb is a dream warrior. So kind of the second half of the run is we are trying to defeat the dreamers, but we're also defeating a bunch of dream warriors to collect essence. You can collect essence from defeating them. We ultimately need 1800 essence to awaken the dream now, which lets us the white pass. Well, that was the end of the boss. It is rude of him, isn't it? What a dumb. Congratulations, clubs.
Oh.
We're heading down to Umo now. Use my distance PB, it's the furthest I've gotten. The spot where any percent run, you have to do an acid skip. Yeah, dismiss, so we don't have to worry about it. So Uno only really has 2 attacks, other than just walking into you, which arguably is the worst attack of any of the bosses, but I digress. So there's one where it does a fixed place attack, bunch of lightning appears all around the arena, and there's one where it does an attack that chases you. The fixed place attack, there's a bunch of options, a bunch of things you can do. The bottom 2 platforms right at the bottom of the arena are both safe. I tend to stick to one of these platforms, this one or the one on the other side, and like there's usually some area over here. There's always some area on the wall that is safe, and you can either just continue a wall climb to avoid it, or you can do a crystal dash cancel where you kind of just keep starting a crystal dash but don't finish it. For the moving one, it's really just making sure you don't stay too long in any one place and you're fine. We'll see how it goes. And also Dream Nail Umo at the start. If you're low on soul, I'm not, but so this is the moving attack. So we want to just keep moving. You can slide down the wall and that's fast enough. I'm gonna find a place on the wall and just hang out. It's not ideal. It's okay. This is also a bit in any percent where I lost several runs because you don't have Isthmus tier, so even just falling in the acid there, you get hit. No worries, Benji. Hopefully we can get. I'd like to get sub 10. I feel like we can get sub 10. It's just showing that one of the Dreamers has been defeated. 2 to go. Receive my code. Just realized I don't have anything to play it on, so we'll likely gift it to Benji instead. Just get the code. In fact, you don't even need to because I have the code. It's actually a code that I gave. So I can just give it to you. I can just give it to Benji. I'm just trying to think what's going to happen in that time. Getting at last. Ability upgrade, that's really the goal of what we're doing next. And that's really just to make that harder boss fights just a little bit easier. We're going to head down to the Abyss, which lets us upgrade our dash to have iframes. Also lets us upgrade our Howling Wraith spell, but we need to get the Howling Wraith spell first. So that's what we're doing now. The full soul here. You can farm the little Ras guys out there if you need to get it. I kill this guy through the wall. Basically, I just bait all of these enemies up to this corner. Some of them will come right up to you, which means you can get a nail hit in, which lets you get some soul back, which is nice. Over here that you want to kill. So oh, the ad is about to start. We're basically going to be just heading down. I will get to the entrance and then let's prove it. Run it now. I've had this happen before where, like, if I manually make an ad run, sometimes Twitch gets confused and then also runs its own scheduled ad, and it thinks it's run 2, and I get like 2 hours of not having to run an ad. Doesn't happen very often though. It's like once. So we're heading down to the Abyss, which we needed the King's Brand, which is what we got from defeating Hornet 2. We'll open this door here. Might just wait out this ad. Because I think this next bit is kind of interesting. How's everybody going? So what's the next milestone? 1750? Is that right? What's a joke? I don't have any jokes prepared other than the Hollow Knight hitless attempt. No pressure. You have a joke? Oh, Chico has a joke, man. Lay it on us. Why does the Norwegian army have barcodes on its ships? Oh, I think I can see where this goes. Oh, that's actually quite good. Why? I don't think you've told it before, but I pieced it together. It's a good joke. It's a good joke. Don't leave Robot Spacer in suspense there. Alright, we're going to Crystal Dash across and we're going to basically do a planned fall to avoid any spikes here, avoid another platform, go back to the left to avoid more spikes. Scandinavian. Brilliant. It's very good. Oh, what do you mean? That's top tier. So we upgrade our spell to Abyss Shriek, which does a lot of damage. It's probably the second best spell in the game, I would say. Shadesell's pretty good though. One which is universally acknowledged as the highest form, I agree. Black riding hands are obviously bad. You want to get hit by them. Can go through here very quickly, but it's not my style. Do you think Wraiths is better than D-Dark? Nah, D-Dark's better. Because Wraiths doesn't give you any iframes. If I had to pick, I would definitely pick D-Dark. It does more damage. Yeah, but the iframes. I guess maybe I'm showing my no-hit runner preference there. Everybody should love iframes, honestly. Who doesn't love an iframe? So now we have Shade Cloak, which gives us iframes on our dash, which is very nice. Big fan. Imagine a FromSoft game without iframes on the roll. I never want to ask anybody to imagine that because it would be so terrible. It's the cornerstone of any action. Exactly. Get any iframes in this game until like really like 4 or 5 hours in on the casual playthrough. That's probably why I rage quit when I first played it. Soul Innovate, Soul Master. I can't remember if it was Soul Master or Soul Tyrant that like made me pretty sure I like wore like a nub into the thumbstick because of how hard I was like trying to move. I wish I could remember which. Must have. I'd like to say it was Soul Turret, but it's possible it was Soul Master. Must have been. I don't know how I was holding the controller, what I was trying to achieve. So we're going back to Broken Vessel, everybody's favourite, to defeat his dream version. Probably one of the harder fights in the game, in the run, I would say. Why does your life bar have a purple hue in the background? Because I'm overcharmed. So I've like got more charms equipped than I'm supposed to be able to, which means I can use all the charms and they all work normally, but I take double damage if I get hit. Yeah, you have to like attempt to equip your charms past the limit 5 times before the game will let you actually do it. So that's probably why you haven't seen it. I didn't know it was a thing until I started doing hitless runs. So our goal with this is to keep Lost Kin as far away as possible. So far, this is not the plan. Spells. Yeah, double damage doesn't matter when you're trying to not get hit. Theoretically. You can still have a good back half of the run. Like, I don't know if I've done like a whole back half of the run without getting hit. So that would be an achievement. We can try to do it. Let's try to set a new goal. A lot of the mental game with no hit running is just finding ways to convince yourself to continue going. I find whether it's like the PB thing that makes you continue a run even when it's not the run, or makes you decide you want to try again, like do another run. Or if it's some way that you can convince yourself that there's still some way to achieve something new. We're gonna go fight Markoth. So he is a boss that is one of the ones that is like, his health is affected by your nail upgrade level. And he actually requires Shade Cloak to get to. So the game quite reasonably probably assumes that you're like pretty far into the game. So surely you would have upgraded your nail. What on? It does make him quite a bit easier, but he's certainly not. I wouldn't say it was free. Nothing's free. Nothing's free in a no-hit run. That's my theory, my philosophy. I think they decided to gate Markoth behind a Shade Cloak. Seems kind of... Yeah, it does seem weird, doesn't it? I don't really understand. Like, is there some lore reason for it? Is there... Like, what other boss is behind a Shade Cloak? Like, just Trader Lord, right? Yeah, you can't get through this until you've got Shade Cloak. Hey, Chungus, welcome in. Not done too bad, how are you? Happy Australia Day. Invasion Day, depending on what you call it. because he has an attack that takes up the whole screen. Oh, that's true. You actually can't. Yeah, you need Shade Cloak to fight Trader Lord. Well, you need it to no-hit him. Yeah. Trader Lord's a she, right? Can never remember. Didn't realise it was Australia Day. That's a good point, because there's nothing Markov does that you can't avoid. It's kind of annoying. I imagine it's annoying for speedrunners too, like, because you have to go there to get the King's Brand in order to get Shade Cloak, in order to come back to be able to fight Markov, which is you never see. Yeah, I don't really celebrate it either. You know how to use D-Dark properly, you don't technically need Shade Cloak. That's true, that's true. But I guess you don't need Shade Cloak for Trader Lord. Like, it's not like the game expects you to no-hit Trader Lord, right? Do you think that would be too unfair to have an attack that you were just unable to do anything about? I feel like some games do that. Tark is doing this run, yeah. It's going alright. Like, I think I can get it. It's just, it'll happen. It'll happen one day. I don't feel like I'm... Probably could put some more time into one of the bosses, but the rest of it I'm like, it's probably close enough for it to just happen eventually. Kind of get to a point with these runs where I'm like, I don't want to just spend hours and hours practicing. Does double damage, so you would think it's super unfair. Yeah, it probably is unfair to not like let the player get there when they have no way of dealing with it. So we want to hit this guy a bunch of times. Beast Shriek's kind of the best way to do that. We can stagger him. This is the dream version of the first boss we fought. Kind of get him in a loop here. Shouldn't really be able to attack us again. Good. Oh, the breakable false start one. Yes, good. Good. So I actually got hit here doing a practice run last night where I learnt that you can have 2 fireballs coming down above you. And I tried to hit them up, and I only hit one of them, and the second one hit me, which I'd never seen before. So this is the wall you can normally break. I'll show you in the other room. This is the dream version. It's rude, I agree. You've been playing Liza P. I played a little bit of that, not a heap. I found the parry system like not as enjoyable as Sekiro. Can you still... Okay, so this wall here, during the False Knight battle, you can actually break it. It doesn't look like you can actually break it once you've beaten him. You can skip the first boss fight. I'm just on a boss tour at the moment. No eyes. Another fight that we make a bit easier by upgrading our nail. It's like, from what I did play, there's probably like 4 or 5 hours maybe. Probably the best non-FromSoft Souls game that I've played. A lot of terrible Souls games out there though. And a lot of them I haven't played, so. It is very polished, yeah. And I like that they're like doing some different stuff rather than just copying FromSoft, I guess. That's cool. Respect that. Pretty much everything here with spells. And there's one of these Venus flytraps here that we can just hit to get our soul back up. Yeah, the puppet stuff is cool. No Eyes is just going to teleport around the arena. So you can chase her, which I guess is what you would normally do, but for a no-hit run, I just wait. Just wait. You've got enough shades. You've got enough soul to just kill her with shade souls. Gotta go. No worries, Chunks. Thanks for stopping by. Keep enjoying Liza P. And, have a good day. Yeah, think about the lurk too. One more boss, and then we want Dreamgate, which is probably this game's kind of teleport. You can create your own teleport points. Checkpoints, I guess. Saves a little bit of backtracking. I don't use it. This is one of those things where, like, other people's routes use it more effectively because they prioritize fighting, like Lost Kin, for example, early, which gives them enough essence to get the teleport early. So the teleport is like, essentially you collect essence, hand it into the seer, or tell the seer that you got it, and she gives you a bunch of different stuff. One of those things is the teleport. So if you do it early, then you can teleport early, which, means you potentially never have to do the Abyss climb, for example, because you can just set a teleport point before it, go down, get Shade Cloak and Abyss Streak, teleport back up. For me, I just prefer to have Shade Cloak. I like Lost Kin. If I could have Shade Cloak for Hornet 2, I'd be so happy. I cannot, unfortunately. Seal. We get a pale ore here, which we use to upgrade our nail later. She opens up the Spirit's Glade, which is not particularly interesting for us. Get a charm. We get a mask shard as well, maybe? Is that now? Oh, Vessel Fragment. Get our teleport. Yeah, I figured this out yesterday. If we quit here, we'll end up back at... No. Did I sit at the bench? Silly. Psst. Deep Nest. One of the dreamers is, and also another dream warrior, Galian, which is scripted. He says hesitantly. I might just go through fast because there are cockroaches that spawn and they can spawn directly under you. They can spawn in really inconvenient places. I do try to go as fast as I can, but they can still screw you. Best to just kill them as soon as you can. I think there's another way that you can get through there faster, but on the right hand side of the screen. Get the hot spring for a second. Which pulls up our soul, also heals you if you're not at full health. These guys, when you kill them, they after a little while they respawn as like funky spider things, so you don't want to hang around for too long. This jump here, you want to dash into the wall on the left and just drop. You don't want to be moving left or right, just dash, neutral, drop. Otherwise you will hit the spikes. I'm going to set a dream gate here. We can come back here in a minute. Go up here to fight Galian. Galian? I don't know how you say it. There's a bug here we want to shriek. One up here that we're going to use to get soul back. Okay. Alien is not a fun fight if you have to actually fight him. So what I do is, after I've dream nailed him to activate the fight, stand in the middle of his body. There's going to be like a scythe that starts spinning. Once the scythe has done a whole rotation, I then jump and start abyss shrieking. I was going to say jump and start shrieking, which, depending on how the run goes, maybe I'll end up doing that. But and 3 abyss shrieks should kill him. So move into the middle, wait for the scythe to complete a whole rotation. Yeah, so some of the dream bosses get kind of deleted because of not upgrading the nail. That is pretty tight. Like if he happens to move to the left or right, he can escape the last abyss shriek, and then you have to actually fight him, and it's not fun. He has like, there's him together with like 3 additional spinning blades. So it's not a fun boss fight if you have to do it properly, quote unquote properly. I don't want to find all these spiders. This guy, you want to kill him through the wall, but you can, if you don't have enough soul, you can dream nail him through the wall. I've lost a run because I didn't know you could do that. Good to know. I've just forgotten to do it again, which is what happened the last time I explained this. You do want to kill him through the wall. You drop down here, dash to the right, the crystal dash across here because there is floor that will fall, and it's best to avoid just landing in spikes. Every time I explain that, I forget to actually kill him. So probably normally here you would sit at this bench, and all these guys will creepily trap you and then essentially trap you in a beast's den. But we can actually skip this whole area. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We can skip this whole area because we have monarch wings. We can double jump up to here. We can actually just... we'll see if we get it first time. Just wall climb up through this passage, which gives us kind of like the back entrance. Which helps us avoid a whole lot of stuff, which is great. Anytime you can skip stuff, it's great in my opinion. We can come up to this guy and dream nail him from behind. He won't even wake up. Kill this guy with soul. The dream. So only one dreamer to go. I think only one dream boss to go. Any puzzle. It's not often that I stream in like a American friendly time zone. Friendly to an American time zone anyway. But thank you. You're doing well. I now realize I'm assuming you're in America, but I don't know if I actually know that, so don't feel the need to tell me one way or the other if you're not comfortable. Can I just assume everybody's in America? It's probably a bit reductive. Get the last dreamer. One to go. Set a dream gate. Finally upgrade our nail. We can just, the kind of the intended, I would say, way of getting up here is having wings. It kind of expects you to have double jump, but you can also pogo off that background item. There's a guy in here that we have to kill. We can just do it with an abyss shriek through the floor, which is nice. Grab the bench here because we're going to quit back to it in a minute. we'll come back into some rooms that probably, well, depending on what your memory is like, might look familiar from earlier. This is where we got our rancid egg from. Could go and sell some stuff to Lem, but we don't actually need to, so I won't bother doing that. C dash under here, avoid all these enemies. Let's go, because why not? C dash up to the blacksmith. Nailsmith, I should say.
Then Ranjo Stenja.
Read our nail twice.
Jonsha. Garadel Akari. Vendasu. Jonsha. Garadel Akari.
Fight. What I would say would be the hardest boss fight in the any percent run. Not as bad because we have Descending Dark because of those lovely iframes and Shadeclave. It'd still catch you unawares. They have to fight 5 Watcher Knights, 2 at a time. One thing worth noting is you normally have to fight 6, but you can actually climb up this wall here, break the roof, and there's, you can drop a chandelier on one of them, so you only have to fight 5. Nice. You can dream nail them before the fight starts. You're going to get soul, which is good. Good to know. But basically, you want to delete them as quickly as possible. That's the goal. Individually, they're not too bad. They have a bounce attack. They have a roll attack. It'd be good to try to hit them as they're rolling away. So like jumping over and shooting a fireball, because it can basically hit them multiple times. Like that will hit him multiple times. The other thing is just de-darking, which gets you out of all kinds of trouble. It's risky. Thank you. Yep. Too easy, that's right. Too easy. This is our final dreamer. We can now technically get to an ending. Don't get to the true ending just yet. After the final boss is open. But we actually need Hornet to join us in the final boss battle so that we can effectively dream nail the final boss to get into the final boss. To do that we need to get a charm. It's quite complicated, but we've done a fair bit of it already. Part of it is getting 1800 essence. We've almost done that. We have one more dream boss, which is a fast version of Soul Warrior. Soul Master, sorry. Get soul here would be easier. Actually, you got time to dream now, this guy, if you want to. You'd be making all that up and you'd never do it. Trust me, I'm not doing anything that I don't need to do in this run. This run is long enough. Doing the bare minimum. Shit, that was a mistake. That's the kind of thing where, like, you know, I do my dive attack 2 pixels too far to the right, and now I'm suddenly in a situation I've never been in before. Like that's never happened before. That's when things go wrong. Oh, is the heart your actual heart rate? It is, yes. Well, you know, based on an Apple Watch. So. So we have to get back to Soul Master's corpse. To do that, we can skip a whole bunch of it by doing a C-dash off this wall here and jumping up through the roof. Yeah, I'm back. We still got this guy that's going to spawn here somewhere. Shoot a bunch of soul vessels over there to get some more soul. That's because the run's dead, Baron. It's because the run's dead. It got super high the other night because I set my distance PV the other night, like Thursday night. I got further than I've been before, and it was very high then. I think it was like, you got up to like 140 or something, 120. So this is Soul Master, but like super fast, basically. It's not dissimilar to the fight. There's a few bits that I use Shade Cloak for. This one I Shade Cloak through. You can dodge it, like you can jump in between the fireballs, but I don't like doing that. It is better to, like, it's probably better to jump over the top of him when he does this one, because you really want to keep your Shade Cloak as long as possible, in my opinion, because it does take a few seconds to recover, so you don't want to be caught in a situation where you don't have it and you're expecting to have it. If I ever do that, it'll be triple digits forever. So we've got all the essence we need. Now we can go back to the seal. I don't actually do it yet. I just realized. I'll never finish this game. You don't have to fight that boss to finish the game, just so you know. If that's what you're worried about. We won't go back to the seer just yet. So to get to the true ending, we need to get 2 halves of an additional charm called the King's Soul. One of them is in the Queen's Gardens with the White Lady, who is protected by the Trader Lord. That's where we're going to go now. The other one is in the White Palace, which doesn't have a boss, but is basically the hardest platforming section, I'd say, in the game. There's one particular part that is known as the Path of Pain, which I don't do as part of this run, but so we're heading toward Trader Lord to get the first half of the charm. Deepness is hers. Yeah, White Palace is the boss. That's a good way of describing it. Most of the time these guys die with 1 Shade Soul if it pushes them back and you get a double, but it doesn't always work. There's a couple of like challenge rooms here. We're about to enter one, but it is scripted if it goes the way it's meant to. So we're going to Bish Streak the first guy, we'll wait for the next 2 to come out. And they didn't die, which is unfortunate, but we recovered it. This guy. Actually hit this guy up into the spikes. Not always, but most of the time that works. Do this bit like relatively slowly. We're going to kill everything. This is one of those rooms where the enemies can spawn in inconsistent locations, so I would rather kill them all. I'm going to just keep going to into this room and getting soul from this guy, because I want full soul for the next room. Sometimes I hit miss, sometimes I hit, sometimes I miss. Good. Another challenge room here. And a pogo on this guy and D-Dark on him. I'm going to do an up strike and a Bish Shriek. Nail cancel over here. Got another nail cancel over here. Another Abyss Shriek. Pogo, D-Dark. Up strike, Abyss Shriek. Then you got enough soul to kill these guys. There's one more guy up here. And then we're done. took notes for the test at the end. Well, fortunately, it's all recorded. So when you all start working on your no-hit runs, have it available. Queen's Gardens. So now we got Trader Lord. So a couple of things about Trader Lord. I've kind of changed my approach to Trader Lord like twice in the last week. So we'll see what actually happens. But there'll be 3 mantises that we will deal with by the Pogo Dedark method. Then you can actually Abyss Shriek Trader Lord. Trader Lord kind of drops down from the top of the screen, but its hitbox is active before it actually appears, and so you can Abyss Shriek it, damage it before the boss fight even starts. And then the safest method I've found is to just either let it jump over the top of you or Pogo, depending on which attack it does. But you can also Abyss Shriek when it jumps above you. I'm still kind of working on that, so I don't know if I will try that or not, but we'll see what happens. So I want to stay in the middle so this guy spawns on the left. You want to get back into the middle. There's going to be 2 of them. You want one to spawn on the left, otherwise it gets a bit dicey if they're both on the same side. So now we can jump up here, Abyss Shriek before it even comes into the arena. Pogo. So you can Abyss Shriek there. Taking a long time to die. So you can Abyss Shriek. What images lurkins to start the countdown? I'm still going to be going for probably 20 minutes at least, just so you know. I did let Robot Spacer go over a little bit. I did anticipate going over a little bit over 3 hours because of it's like 2.5 hours when I just go through it and don't talk, like when I'm doing practice runs offline, but that Abyss Shriek kill was epic, yeah. The fight felt like it was going for too long. I only went 6 minutes over. So 6 minutes plus the additional time that I was already expecting that this would take. I'm not entirely pinning it on Robot Spacer. I'm not pinning any of it on him because I did offer. It's all my fault. Okay. You go Awaken the Dream now. We've got 1800 essence. Yeah, I agree. So we got half the charm from the White Lady there. To fight the boss that is White Palace to get the other half of the charm. I feel like you've learned so much. It's good. Are you gonna try and no-hit run gloves? Usually asleep at this point. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Just from boredom. You need to just shoot a whole bunch of spells into the air like that. Actually do need a fair bit of soul, you know? Now that we have awoken the dream now, and dream now this guy and go into the dream, which is where White Palace exists. Hit this guy twice. This guy that's coming up. Descending Dark. Another Descending Dark. Usually he dies. Close enough. Might try and play it again. Nice. There's only one more enemy in this area. But there are a lot of spinning saw blades. Spikes. So this one you can just jump on the platform, you can head left, back to the right. I've seen people do some very scary setups for that, where they try to poke off the moving saw blade, which just seems bananas to me. So this we want to poke up the right hand side. We'll line our head up with like where the two windows meet, if that makes sense. It is kind of the meet by section, yeah. So this is where we want our head to be, right lined up in the middle of where the two windows meet. We want to wait for one of the, we're going to do a neutral dash, which will take us right into the middle of the first two saw blades. And the next lineup, unfortunately, is not as clean, so we have to move a little bit to the right and then do the dash. Then we're gonna jump on this, the saw blade that's like on the floor. We're gonna jump on, I jump on that 3 times, which times up with the other blade in the ground. I can jump over and land in between the window. We'll see. We'll see. 1, 2, 3. And then we C dash when this first blade first goes into the ground, which lets us get out the other end. C dash through this gap and then stop very quickly. Damn it. What you meant to do. Unfortunate. What to think about. Well, I was saying it, I just didn't do it. Get to the other side. There is a skip you can do here where you can shriek, do your spell in the air, and then double jump and actually pogo off your own shriek, but I have never put the time into learning how to do it, so I just do this the old-fashioned way. I'll line up with this pillar here, wait for this guy to go away, line up with this pillar here, jump over the saw blade, you're safe in between this pillar and the next one. Dash through. This one, I wait for this blade on the left to start going up, and you can chase it up. I'm going to do the same here, but we're going to do a crystal dash cancel. Or stall. I've stuffed it up. Let's reset. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's what you meant to do. Know how to explain that. That's what you do. Get on this platform, drop down to the next one. You can wall climb on the next vertical platform for time if you want to kind of like bide your time like this. I used to go to the next platform you can see down, but you have to do a bunch more jumps. So I now just dash to this one, drop down the hole. You can just walk off to this platform. These next two jumps are just walking to the left, dashing and wings. Those spikes look scarier than they are. Like the ones that are right there are actually in the background, like they're not gonna hit you. 2 wall jumps, dash, 2 wall jumps, change sides. Jump up this side. We're gonna dash over these once the blades are out of the way. Dash and wings up. And then we're going to pogo off these saw blades. So jump, wings, pogo off. This saw blade room here is a nightmare, but you can skip it if you get the right spot. There's actually a breakable floor here. Just bypass all of that nightmare. Snooze these ads. That's these guys. Use this guy to get my soul back, because they actually give you soul. I'll go off them. Chase this guy out and then jump over it. That. I'll go off this one. Wait at the bottom here, because there is a saw blade that's going to come. Time. I see some people do like a crystal dash stall on this wall, but you can outrun it. And then we're going to pogo off this light. Just skip a whole bunch of stuff as well. Now this one, we need to time it so that we can pogo off these spikes as they go up in the air. And the way to do that is to wait until they go up, and that's when you want to start moving. That. Dash over here. Wings off this wall. You can skip a whole bunch of this by just jumping on this tile here. You want to line your eyes up with this kind of horizontal line here. That's how I line that up. And this one, I wait for the left blade to come down. On those. There's a hidden wall here that you can break if you don't stuff it up. Skips a whole bunch of stuff up there, which it obviously does not look very fun. This one, some people just dive through the whole thing, but I don't really like that timing personally. I'm just winging this. This one I can dive through. Almost done. You can just walk off this platform here, dash, get onto this. You want to make sure that you get high enough here. You can land in those spikes. That's not fun. You're going to jump. You're going to time this to jump over the top of this blade and then dash over to the right hand wall. Dash, and we can climb up here. Done. That easy. Wasn't too bad. Only one hit. Well, I mean, it was that was how easy it was. Maybe not objectively easy, but that was the difficulty. You gotta go down. We have to equip our charm here. We need to upgrade our King Soul. It opens the way to a birthplace. We're gonna head to the birthplace. Oh, hold on. I want to create a dream gate. So I don't want to climb all the way out of the abyss. I've got an ad coming up, which is really not very well timed, honestly. Do our same abyss fall here. Move to the right to avoid the spikes. Move to the right to avoid the platform. Back to the left. Yeah, and this is the birthplace here. So with King Soul Charm equipped, we can go down here now. Oh shit, didn't see you. Scared me. So that nobody misses the final boss, I'm going to run the ad. I'm just going to be climbing up a bunch of platforms. Nothing interesting. And then that way I don't have to run it. Nothing interesting except literally all the lore of the game. Well, nothing interesting from a no-hit run point of view. If you were hoping for the lore of the game, come to the wrong channel. Let's be real. Except when you're here. You provide the lore of the channel, honestly. doesn't take that long to actually do that, which is kind of surprising. Yeah. I got hit in the climb, not that climb, but the normal abyss climb. I got hit to spikes once when I was doing all skills. Re-equip Soul Eater. No, it's good. It's very, very useful. Very useful member of the community here, Chico. I appreciate it. And back to, we're going to finally go to the Black Egg Temple, which I've been talking about all game. $306 on the line. So that's some of these ones. So this is the first we have to fight the final boss of the, I guess, the normal game. The standard ending, the most straightforward ending. I'd say the key thing to do when you're fighting the Hollow Knight or THK is to not get greedy. So I don't really use spells very much at all. Pogo everything. You can pogo this attack. You can pogo this attack. You usually tend to just wait until he's doing something. You can do dead jumps because it's Hollow Knight. Every boss does a hollow dead jump apparently. It's just mandatory part of the coding. He does stagger, that's the one time I'll do a spell. Occasionally I'll do one when he's like far away. You can dash under this when you have Shade Cloak, thankfully. Also pogo over it. Like standing there. Any attack you do here is only going to do 1 damage regardless of what it is. Spell, nail, it's always 1 damage. You can hit him here if you time it right and position yourself right, which I didn't. It's worth noting when he's doing this attack he can do up to 5, but don't count on him doing 5. Because you'll dash right into his body. His head is huge. It is a huge hitbox. Avoid his head. That's my summary of THK. I actually avoided one of his attacks entirely. Now, because we have Void Heart, we can Dream Nail into fight the final boss. Most jank boss hitbox in the whole game. Now this boss particularly punishes you if you're greedy, and I find it very hard to not be greedy. You can usually get off some shrieks at the start. A lot of this is a test of making sure you've kept your iframes available. You're pretty safe to shriek at the end of that 3 attack. this one. You can also de-dark on the spikes, which will get rid of them as long as they're up. If they're not actually up, you can't get rid of them, so you need to be careful. Oh god, that was very lucky. This bit, you got quite... I'll just skip it all. Got quite a lot of time to dodge in between those swords coming down, so the main thing is to not panic there. This bit, you can chase her around, but I prefer to just stay on the known one platform. It's easier. It's like the column that goes across is really just trying to get you to lose your shade cloak, your iframes. That's all it does. So you really want to make sure you still have them. Usually nice when she like teleports right here and you can D-dark right on her head. It's quite effective, but she's not doing it today. Not interested. Now we have the climb, which is really just about being patient. Got a lot of time. More hits. Well, until Thursday, that was my PV, so I am glad I did not embarrass myself. 106 spike right there. Thank you for the GGs, and that is how you almost no-hit Hollow Knight with the true ending. Almost. That was a good run. That was a good run. Yeah, man, that was a really good run. Well, it's just basically nothing. It's true. It's true. Alright, we should, well, thank you for hanging out, everybody. If you have not already donated, I haven't talked a lot about it because I've been talking about my run. But we are raising money for the Video Game History Foundation. It's part of defeating games for charity. I need to get my raid ready. It's overtime. Benji. Hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody, and thanks for being part of the event. And we're going to raid over to Artemage. I don't know what. Do we know what Art's actually doing? It's planned. Or it's all in different splits. Yeah. Oh wait, I should do that. Hold on. How do I do that? Wedge list. Okay, there are your commitments. 90. What was your thing, Chico? Yeah, thank you for the donation. Barry? $2.50 a split. Well, thank you very. I must have missed that. Thank you for that. Very generous. You like randomness. No, I will chase Bio, Calamity, and Cam. I'm going to try to. Oh, Calamity's got $108 too. Well, I'm glad I didn't get hit very often. Made the most of it. Where's Artemage? Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, I just saw that. So we'll keep this going. Over to Artemage. Do the raid message if you like. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. It's been fun. It was a very good run. I'm very happy with it. And yeah, hope to catch you next time. Otherwise, yeah, have a good time then. All right, see ya.